Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles the Bandsman, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the NBA Finals. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So last night, funny enough, I actually missed 3 of the 4 quarters of the NBA Finals. I guess I got the time wrong, and I ended up tuning into the game, and it was halftime, and I saw the score was 50-51. And I was like, damn, I had missed everything, right? So I was waiting for the second half to start, and then the second half started, and I started watching the game, but I was feeling sick, and I was on some meds that were making me really drowsy. So as I'm watching the third quarter, I see Boston take, like, I think a 10-point lead, and then I'm dozing off, and I'm like, man, I'm going to bed. I'm too tired. So I woke up in the morning to see that the Boston Celtics actually ended up winning that game in Dallas 106-99. And if I look at the box score, I see Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum chipped in 30 and 31. Jason Tatum finally had a good game. Al Horford had 8 points. Derek White has 16 points. Drew Holiday had 9 points. And Sam Hauser had 9 points off the bench. And they ended up hitting 17 out of their, 46 three-point attempts. And then I look on the Dallas Mavericks side, and I see that Kyrie Irving had a bounce-back game. First big game of these finals, he scored 35 points on 46% shooting, 66.7% shooting from the 3, and 100% from the free throw line. I see Derek Lively scored 11. And I see PJ Washington had 13. And then I look at Luka, and Luka has 27 points. But then I noticed it took him 27 shots to get those 27 points. And then I noticed that he fouled out of the game. And I started to really catch up to the various stories surrounding yesterday's game to understand exactly what the hell took place, because I was a bit confused. And then I started looking at some highlight footage, and I understood that Luka really had a very bad game, and some people are saying that he cost his team that game because he had a total meltdown emotionally, and because of the dumb plays he was making to get him to earn himself those fouls and causing him to get fouled out of the game, and his lack of just utter, like, just horrendous defense. So I tuned into a segment today on Get Up, and I saw Jay Williams discussing Luka Doncic, man, and he absolutely did not hold back on Luka. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Jay Williams had to say about Luka Doncic's constant complaining in his bad defense, and I want to come back and react to what he had to say. Take a listen to Jay Williams here.
Can we bring it back to something that we all learned at the earlier stage of our career? Like, I had Coach K talk about this all the time. Like, you can't win championships when you have really bad habits. Yep. And you have really bad body language, and then you do a ton of bitching all the time. Like, let's be honest about it. Like, those are 3 things that we associate with Luka on the defensive end, right? Like, offensively, he is prolifically great, but his habits are things that are not really good. And these are the things that we're talking about here. And you're just even seeing, like, these are little things where you're like, hey, man, get out of your own way. Like, you need to be great. And also, look, Luka got blown by more times in Game 2 of the NBA Finals than any other player in the last 10 years. So you think he's going to come out in Game 3 and all of a sudden be different? When you get tired, CJ, what happens? Your bad habits come out, right? You have to be more intentional with what you do. I think this is a moment of clarity that we're seeing for Luka. We've seen every great player go through it. I know everybody's going to kill Luka today. I hear him defensively, a ton of room of improvement. But we saw MJ and Scottie talk about trust. We saw LeBron James, can you hit the shot down the stretch? We've seen Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown get to NBA Finals and Eastern Conference Finals and not get over the hump. This is the moment where Luka, this offseason, if they're going to lose. Boston's going to win their 18th championship, okay? Yep. He needs to lose weight. Let's be honest about it. He needs to be better defensively. And CJ, you said it. If he could be functional, not good, not great, functional defensively and make sound decisions when his conditioning is better down the stretch for who he needs to be offensively, then he can win a championship. But this is his moment of clarity.
Life comes at you fast.
Really fast. This is
a week and a half ago, we were having a conversation on this show. Is Luka Doncic the best player in the world? And today, he is the reason that his team fell down 3-0 last night, despite the fact that they obviously would not have been anywhere near this position without him. So
you heard his comments. What are my thoughts? First of all, let's get to the part about the complaining. Luka Doncic has been known throughout his entire career in the NBA to be a player that always bitterly whines and complains to the referees. Luka does it literally on every single play. It seems that he deems went against him. Luka Doncic can complain from the beginning of to an end of a game. I heard Rick Carlisle, that was one of the reasons when he was, the former Dallas Maverick head coach, was something that he complained about. It was something that people in the media have been complaining about. It's something that Jason Kidd has talked about in the past. But Luka complains a lot, and he gets on the referees a lot. Now, for him to do it on the biggest stage in an NBA Finals game, a pivotal Game 3, is absolutely unacceptable. And I think Luka just hit his fork in the road moment for him and for himself in his career, because this is a moment that we're going to remember, right? This is a moment we're going to remember because those prior rounds, Luka Doncic was doing his thing, and people were giving him his props, justifiably. People were giving him his credit for playing so well, et cetera, et cetera. But when you have a moment like this in the NBA Finals, and you know that if you lose this Game 3, you're going to lose this series, you have to be much more composed emotionally. But to get those kind of fouls that would not only hurt you, but would also affect your team's chances of winning is inexcusable. And I think that we have to hang this loss at Luka Doncic's door. He has to be the one that takes the blame on it, because if he had played well and played spectacularly, people would be giving him the praise. That's the same thing he did in that closeout game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and everyone was giving him his praise. Some people were saying he's the best player in the world at the time. So when you have moments like this and you're the culprit, you have to get the blame. That's the first thing. The second thing is in terms of Luka playing no defense. Luka never played defense. Now, I want to be fair. In that round in the first round, in the second round, I was surprised because Luka was playing defense. No, I remember Luka Doncic in round 1 and round 2 was actually playing some pretty good defense. And I was surprised. A lot of people were surprised. I didn't know that he was capable of playing defense. It just looks like in the finals, he just went away from it. Maybe he just said, look, it is clear that our team needs a lot of offense. It's clear that a lot of these guys are not hitting their shots. Kyrie has not been himself. So I just need to, preserve as much energy as I can on the defensive side of the floor to be able to go out there and score as many buckets as I possibly can. That could have been a possible train of thought. But the fact of the matter is, Luka has never been a great defender. And I want to read some comments that we got from Fadeaway World on his coach, saying the following about him. He said, he's definitely got a bullseye on his chest. He's got to be able to guard and understand that we're there to protect him and help him if he does get beat. He's carrying the load offensively, and they're putting him in every pick and roll and ISO. He's got to be able to play a game where he can rest on offense and let others carry the load. Which essentially means that in cases like this, when you're taking 27 shots, you have to be able to play a lick of defense when you're not that efficient. It's one of the reasons why two-way players are usually my favorite players of all time. The Jordans, two-way guy. Kobe, two-way guy. Kawhi Leonard, until he started disappointing me, two-way guys. And it's been stated that being a two-way player is the hardest thing to be in the NBA. You know how hard it is to make an all-NBA team and then make an all-defensive team? And then do it in the same year multiple times? That's very, very difficult to do. So Luka didn't play defense. They had a very poor outing. Kyrie Irving played well. But to quote Jaylen Brown, he put up a vintage performance, and it just wasn't enough. So now it looks like this series is going to be over. I picked Dallas to win this series, and I was totally wrong. I thought that Jason Kidd would outcoach Joe Mazzulla. That hasn't happened. I thought that the Dallas players were going to, perform really well. But I also said that the Boston Celtics had the personnel to defend the Dallas Mavericks, and that's what we've been seeing. So these are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments, and we catch you on the next show. Peace.